Welcome back, guys. Today I'm giving a full review and analysis of the September 7th update for Surviv.io. When I say full review, I do not mean just the big stuff like the rivers and the new guns. I mean everything from balances to the new rivers and everything they have added in Surviv.io. I also have some gameplay of everything in the new update, including all of the guns, so you will get to see some of that during this video. Let's begin. I'm going to start off by addressing all the balance updates that they made in this new update. First of all, they decreased the dropping rate of the M9. At first I was confused about this, then I realized since they added a new pistol, they probably don't want too many pistols on the map. They also decreased the dropping rate of the MP220, which makes sense to me because it's a little bit overpowered and I think there were a little too many people using it in the game. And finally, for decreasing dropping rates, they also decreased the Qbb drop rate. The Qbb is the LMG, in case you don't know. It's relatively new. I think they're still figuring it out. I think it is a little too overpowered to be a common gun, and it was pretty common in the game. So I'm happy overall that they did decrease the dropping rate for the Qbb. There is one more balance update, but I'm going to save that for later in the video because I have a lot to say about it, and I think it's pretty significant. And I'm going to save the most important parts of this video for the end. Next up is a little art change that I found very cool. They changed the art for the MP220. It now actually looks like a double barrel shotgun, and it looks really, really cool. I'm happy they did this. It's not a big thing, but it does look really, really cool. Next up is the new outfit that they made. I'm not really too excited about it because it's an outfit. I don't really use outfits that much, but they added the water elemental outfit. I think it looks pretty cool. It looks better than a lot of the outfits, but I mean, it's nothing too big. They also added 2 skins for the melee weapons. They added one for the karambit, which is a little sword. It's now a drowned sword, meaning it will look blue. They also have a new axe. I didn't actually find it, so you won't see any gameplay for it, but apparently it's a wooden axe, and apparently it has like blood on it or something. It sounds pretty cool, but I haven't found it yet, so. Alright, now we're starting to get to the good stuff. The first thing on the good stuff list are the new obstacles they added. First of all, they added a bed. A bed just looks like a bed. You can find it in the bunker, or you can find it in one of the new cabin buildings. They don't have any loot in them, but they still look pretty cool. Next up is the couch. The couch also doesn't have loot. The only place I've seen it is the new bunker, but other than that, I haven't seen it. The screen is interesting. I've only seen it in the bunker so far. I didn't actually break it to see if it has loot, but I'm pretty sure it does. We also have the wood pile. You can find that in the cabin. It's just a little brown box, and it doesn't have any loot. Not very exciting. Then we have the wall mount. The wall mount is interesting. You can find it in the cabin. It has an M870 in it every time. I'm pretty sure. Don't take my word for it, but I've opened it 4 times, and every single time I've gotten the M870 from it. And lastly, we have the stove and the river brush. The river brush is just a little green bush on the river. You can hide in it just like you can a regular bush, and it will shield you from other people's view. And the stove is a little new building in the cabin, which blows up just like the oven and the gas thing. Before we get to the buildings, I'm going to address the big geographical change on the map. They now have rivers. As far as I'm concerned, you can either find 1 or 2 rivers on a map. They vary in how wide they are. Some are really skinny and some are really large. So, with that being said, there's going to be some buildings on the river. One interesting thing I think you should note about the river is that there's actually a current, not necessarily for yourself, but if you have items that are in the river, they will float down, which is really cool in my opinion. I thought it was a cool thing, but it will be kind of annoying because you're gonna have to chase your loot if it's in the river. Now we get to the new buildings. The first one is the medium bridge. It's just a skinny little wooden bridge that goes across the river. There's about 3 or 4 on each map as far as I'm concerned, and there is no loot on the medium bridge. We also have the large bridge. This one is much cooler and much bigger than the medium bridge. It's a big metal thing that goes across the river. It's much wider than the medium bridge. There are 2 regular crates inside of it. You can find guns outside or right on the beginning of the bridge. You can't break out of it. I don't think you can break the medium bridge either, but it looks really cool. We also have the cabin. It's much like the house, except it has the new bed. It also has the wall mount. It also has the wood pile, and it also has the stove. It looks pretty cool. It's just a greenhouse, and you usually find them near the river. And finally, the biggest and best new building is the crossing bunker. I like to call it the river bunker just because. But anyway, I have some gameplay of it, so I'm not going to describe it. I'm just going to let you guys see it for yourself. And now, for the final part of this video, the best and most exciting part of this video, the new guns and this one nerf that I wanted to talk about. Let's start with the nerf. The nerf is very interesting. Basically, in the words of the devs, they said, switching from a pump action shotgun, such as the M870 or the SPAS 12, to another pump action shotgun will now trigger a full switch cooldown. I was very surprised by this. I don't know how many people have been using two pump action shotguns at once. What I mean by that is two SPAS 12s, two M870s, or a SPAS 12 and an M870. I don't think this has been meta. I don't think this has been super popular, but they all of a sudden nerfed this combo by making a cooldown in between switching from each gun. So basically, if you have an M870 and you switch to another M870, you're gonna have to wait a tiny bit of time. It's like maybe half a second or something before you can shoot your other gun. I thought this was kind of unnecessary. I thought it was uncalled for. It's really gonna affect people who liked using this tactic. I don't think it was ultra meta or anything, and I was just kind of like confused by this. And now the two new guns, probably the most exciting part of this update. I'm gonna start with the new pistol they added, the M93R pistol. This pistol is actually really good. It's surprisingly good for how common it is. While it isn't a great gun, it's decent. It does burst fires of 3, it has a mag load of 20, and it reloads decently fast. I would say this gun is probably as good, if not better, than the UMP9, which is really, really good for a pistol. I think it'll add a unique new thing to the meta, especially since you can dual wield these guns. And finally, the biggest, best, and most exciting part of the update is the new assault rifle, called the M4A1-S assault rifle. I'm gonna start with what I like about it. I like that it's kind of unique in the fact that it's quiet and its bullets are hard to see. That is the most unique thing about this gun, and that is why I think it is so rare. It also does quite a bit of damage from what I can tell. I've only used it once, but it has a really good range, it's really accurate, and it does quite a bit of damage. Here's what I don't like about it. It's really, really rare. I know that seems like a really dumb thing to be mad about, but they just added a new gun recently called the AWM-S, which is already really, really rare. They also have the M249, which is the other really super uber rare gun in the game. Now they have this, which is on the equivalent rarity of these other two guns as far as I'm concerned. So I feel like these super ultra rare guns are gonna lose value as more and more of them are added, just because the more you add, the less valuable this ultra rare status is. And that to me is just a little dumb. I think they could have nerfed it just a little bit and made it a little less rare, and I would have been more happy with the update. Just a little side note, they did add some stuff that they're going to add in the next update, including a mobile app and cities. Cities, that's right. That's going to be cool and interesting. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for videos just like this and other games coming soon. Anyways, guys, see you in the next one. Peace out.